Welcome back, everybody, to Facetious episode 71, recorded on Monday, May 1st, 2017 at approximately 6:07 p.m. Central Standard Time. Look, I am one of your hosts. I'm happy to be back in your ear. I am Larry, a.k.a. Bluemanrule, a.k.a. I ain't at my dinner yet, but I am joined, as per usual, by my main Damie, none other than the cookie chef himself. It is Mike, a.k.a. Scarfinger, a.k.a. Blow Some Smoke in Your Face, a.k.a. Real Talk. What's up, dog?
What's going on, dude? I'm chilling.
Not much, man.
I'm gonna try to wash my mouth today.
Gonna try to bring it in. That gets us right into feedback. So, first of all, thanks for feedback. We really appreciate it.
But let me tell you. You talk about blowing the smoke. Well, you can do the feedback, and then we'll go back to the blowing the smoke in your face.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget it. All right. So, we had some feedback. A couple of folks last week. So the first one is Sean Maloy, and he said, so thanks, Sean, for the feedback. He says, hi, guys. I'm a big fan of the show. Lots of good discussion points. My only gripe is the overuse of the F word. If it could be toned down, would greatly appreciate it. I appreciate the consistent weekly free content. I emphasize free because at the end of the day, you provide an hour out of your lives to entertain a fan like me. P.S. I created this account to give feedback. I normally listen to the audio from my podcast app, and thanks for the content. And so that's why Mike says he's gonna try to keep it under control.
No, really. Thanks, Sean.
Sean, you have to look at the YouTube the video to actually get that face, man. But nah, man. No, Scar don't like restraints, man. But I appreciate you saying it because he's capable.
You told me. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. There's a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
So you say if I could tone down the F word, you ain't tell me that I had to not say it. You just say, can I tone it down a little bit? You ain't say nothing about shit, damn, bitch, like none of that. I'm still free.
But why you gotta be free though? It's like when people say I don't get the chance to say the N-word. It's like it's not really an opportunity to say something, right?
Right. But I mean, okay. So here's the thing.
All right.
One of my only stipulations in doing this show, because I wanted to do the show, but I wanted to make sure that I was free to be me. And I cuss. Like, I mean, there's no other way to say it. I cuss, and I cuss a lot.
Yeah,
and
but you've done clean shows though, and you can still be you.
I've done clean shows. Right. I would not necessarily say those shows have been all the way me. It's a stripped down version of me, but it's not all the way me, because there's times even on those clean shows where I really want to cuss. And most of the time, when you hear me on a clean show, right before that show starts, mm-hmm. I let off a flurry just so I can get it out of my system. But I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Now, the last couple of shows, I gotten a little bit heated, and the F word seems to fly out a lot easier and more often when something has got me amped up. I don't think I'm going to be that amped up on this show, so I think I'll be okay. But now, when if we ever get back to one of those topics.
Mm-hmm.
I will warn you before I start. How about that?
All right. I think that'll be fine. And I always do the timelines. I always bookmark everything. So
yeah,
they'll know.
So bookmark it, because it's when it's coming, I'll let you know. And when it does, it's gonna be fire.
Okay. Now, the second piece of feedback we got was from my boy Quiglin over at A Starting Point podcast. And he says he's been catching up. Yeah, shoutouts. He's a good dude, man. And he's been catching up, watching Facetious and everything. And he said this: garlic butter on a steak is amazing. So he was talking about the episode we were talking about, last episode. He said, hard pass on steak sauce. So he says, you're killing me, Mike, on this ketchup on steak thing. My wife loves
like I said, I knew it was. I knew what it was.
Right.
I knew exactly what it was before I said it. So I mean, so I knew that was going to be the feedback that I was going to get from that part of it. Right. And like I said, I have actually seen people put butter on steak, but I've seen people put a little bit of butter on steak after.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it before. Ain't nothing I would ever do for myself.
Okay, so before we get talking about smoke in your face, can I tell you the last thing I saw on this cooking channel? The last thing I saw was this oven baked mac and cheese. It was a different recipe, second recipe. Listen to the ingredients, okay? So, there's this little base that you make early on, right? And it has butter, it has like cream or whatever, heavy cream in it, okay? That's cool. What up, Will? And then so then you make
that's borderline. Heavy cream is borderline.
I know, but we ain't there yet. We ain't there yet.
Okay, I figured it's coming.
Oh yeah, so you make the mac and cheese, right? You boil the water, you put the mac and cheese in the pan, right? And then as you start swirling it around, you dump in not one, but two big full craft bags of shredded cheddar cheese. Two full bags. Full bags. Hold on. We ain't done, Mike. We ain't done.
You don't put the craft in. You don't put the cheese in until after the.
We ain't done, Mike. We ain't done. Okay, so after you get it in there and you got it all on stovetop, right? So you got it in there, you threw a little pepper in there, he threw a little pepper in there, right? Then you pour this little sauce he made at the beginning. I think the pepper, the sauce had the pepper in it. Y'all was talking about the little heavy cream sauce earlier. So you have the heavy cream sauce, you pour that in, and then you pour that in. Now listen. You pour that in, and then you put that, then you take 2 blocks of other cheese, 1 pepper jack, 1 shredded. You chop up 2 full blocks of cheese and then throw them in while it's on the stove. Then you mix it around. But we ain't done. This is oven baked mac and cheese. We ain't done. So then after all that stuff melts in, then you take that out. You pour that out into an oven pan that you've pre-buttered. You already had butter in the earlier mixture with the whipping cream, but we ain't even gonna get into that. Then you put that in of course a glassware or some type of oven-proof container. Then you sprinkle another half of bag of shredded cheese on it. Do you understand the amount of unlimited constipation that will come from all of that cheese, bro?
Oh no, for me it's the opposite.
Really? Oh, really? Okay. For most people, it's not.
Yeah, brother got that lactose.
Man, so let me tell you, dog. So 2 full bags of cheese.
No.
Big bags, 2 shredded. Then 2 whole blocks of cheese. Plus another like half a bag of shredded cheese on top, bro.
No.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, who is making this and who is eating this? Like, whoever is eating that must have the strongest arteries in the world. For real. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't know, bro.
I mean, that sounds like, I mean, not even the fact that it's dairy and me and dairy, we not friends.
Right. Don't get along no more.
Just the cholesterol.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I mean, it's that just sounds like an absolute damn nightmare.
I personally, I love cheese. I grew up loving cheese, right? And this before I developed the lactose intolerance. And I love the mess out of some cheese. And I used to eat a lot of cheese growing up, but I never ate that much cheese in one sitting. And the mac and cheese that my folks make ain't never that strong. So mac and cheese, you didn't hear it all, Will, but I promise you, bro, all you need to know is that there's a lot of cholesterol and it's a lot of cheese consumption per spoon.
Yeah, so, my cousin, he makes this mac and cheese, and his mac and cheese, he actually switches it up a little bit. He puts a little bit of mozzarella on the top.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Okay, my sister makes really good mac and cheese, and we just can't do it like that though.
Yeah, like that's. Simpson said that sounds like constipation church. For real. Oh, it's terrible.
No, we don't do it. No, we'll talk about something. Sprinkle the breadcrumbs on top. No, we don't do the breadcrumbs. No,
man. Not this shade of chef don't normally do breadcrumbs on the top. I'm just gonna tell you up front.
I've had it. Now I've had it. But that ain't how we do things, bro. Nope. Right. Like immediately we both went, nope. That ain't how you do that.
Nah. Because the thing is, odds are, and the odds are pretty high. There's a probability of about it being 90% that there is some other bread or cornbread or some other type of carb that's close around. So you don't really need bread. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to lean on that one, man. But yeah, the crunch comes from the oven, man. When you throw the cheese on the top and you let that bad boy brown, or just so that's where that comes from. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there, man, because that is ridiculous. So we got Will and Simpson up in the chat room, and yeah, man. So what about the smoke in your face, Mike? Because you said you had something. What up, Slasher? What's going on, dog?
So I placed an order.
Okay.
With Mount Baker Vapor. That's where I buy my juice from for the vape. And so normally when you place an order with Mount Baker Vapor, if you order a couple of bottles, then sometimes they'll just throw something in. Okay. Last time I got something, it was like banana nut bread or something, and it was it won't nothing that I was ever going. I'm not a fan of banana flavoring. Okay, just never been. So I'm out from the beginning, like they
checked out. You done checked out.
Yeah, no, we good. Then so I ordered some more, and they sent me this. And this is you can't really see it on the thing, but this is green apple. It's too close to the light. So this is green apple. Okay. So I said, all right, so before I actually get into what I'm trying to get into, the stuff that I ordered, let me go ahead and try this green apple. So all I did was look and see that it was green apple. So I was like, cool. So I put some in. I took a couple puffs. Bro, I was spinning. Spinning. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong? Is something wrong? Did I just get sick all of a sudden? And then I happened to look at the nicotine content. And the nicotine content is 18 milligrams per milliliter.
Okay. So what's your norm?
6.
What? They got you, huh?
Man, I mean, like my world was spinning. I almost felt like I was drunk. Like like when you get drunk and the room just keep moving, and even though you sitting still.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what happened on this. Man, they got me. They got me like, bruh, they got me. And somebody said they do 3. I do 3 on certain things. Things, but 6 is usually the good, the happy medium for me. So, and I even done some 12s. I have a couple things that are 12, and the 12s are all right, but it's not my jam. Oh, you said Will says, what is my flavor, my vapor flavor of choice? It is Thug Juice. Without a doubt, it's Thug Juice. And I've gotten into Hug Juice lately. Thug Juice is like, it's fruit flavors. It's like watermelon, some berries, and some other stuff with menthol in it. And that is by far my favorite. It's Thug Juice, or some companies call it Drank. And then Mount Baker actually offers the same flavor without the menthol. And the non-mentholated version is Hug Juice. They do the same thing with hawk sauce. I know a lot of people really love hawk sauce. I'm okay with hawk sauce, but I'd rather not have all those berries. Like, give me something else. Do something else. I don't just want berries. And also, Mount Baker also offers one without the menthol on hawk sauce. It's called thawed sauce. So, yeah. So it's I really like Mount Baker, and that leads me to, because Blue seems to have gone away for a second. That leads me to another thing. I order my stuff online because of strictly financial reasons. Like strictly financial reasons. I went to a local vape shop because I just moved, so I don't know where everything is around here. So I went to a local vape shop. And they offering these bottles of like 60 milliliters, and they want like $25 for it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then they have the store made ones. So just because like the guys seem really nice and stuff like that, I decided to buy one of the store made ones. And the store made ones, it was like $8 for a 15 milliliter.
Okay.
Which isn't the worst, but when I order online, I get 30 milliliters for the same amount.
Oh,
it's $8. I get 30 for the same amount. Now I will say it was some kind of like a Jolly Rancher flavor. They called it Jewel Candy. That shit was great. I'm not gonna lie. It was great.
Right?
It wasn't double the price great.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
But it was really good. And lately, okay, so I've been cheating. And I have been going to a place called Avail Vapor.
Wow.
And Avail, they have their juice is really good, but it's really expensive. Like a 15 with them is like $12, $13. But let me tell you, they got this one that's called Bliss. And Bliss is peach cobbler. It's sweet peach cobbler. And that is one of the greatest. It's so good that like twice last week I went and spent that $13.
Dang, dog. $13? Like okay, so two things.
It's 13 for 15.
13 for, oh goodness.
13 for 15.
Okay,
but that is good enough to make me want to do it sometimes. I don't do it all the time, but it makes me want to do it sometimes. Well,
Slasher says he gets 120 milliliters for $22. So
Mount Baker just started. They had cut down because of FDA regulations. They cut down on their sizes, and they strictly went to 30s. So all of this stuff right now is 30s. So what they did was they used to offer much larger ones, and so they brought back. They got rid of all of their 15s. They changed the price on all of them to $2, and they just to get rid of all of their 15s. But they brought back 240s, and their 240s are right now they're on sale. I believe they are $29.
Goodness.
But that's 240. Like that's a lot of juice. Like a whole lot of juice. Okay. And then I think eventually they're going to be like, I think eventually they're going to be like 45 or something like that. But yeah.
So let me ask you. So let me ask. So I'll do like the semi-serious one, and then we'll just do the funny one later. So first question is, have you ever done a cost breakdown analysis, like a cost benefit analysis on the vape? Like, have you ever like broke it down financially and thrown it into Excel to see how much you spend on a bi-weekly basis? And
no, because here's the thing. Because if I do a cost benefit analysis, I'm also doing the analysis of my health bills. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I would have to factor in what tobacco does to me, and with the coughing and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I gotta go get some. I gotta go to the doctor and get something stronger than what than what I can get from the stove. And like the health benefits to vaping alone are better for me. I breathe easier. I don't it feels better. It feels better to me. Now I didn't smoke that long, and I was never truly addicted to it. So I'm a little bit different than some other people, but it's the cost benefit is me not having to go to the doctor for this.
Okay. Because I look at just you're talking about the figures and how much it costs, per meal. And I'm thinking about, well, on average, how much does he smoke? How much does he vape?
I will normally buy 2 or 3 bottles, 2 or 3 30 mil bottles. And even with the frequency of my vaping, it can last me almost 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not a huge, it's not a huge problem for me, but I know a lot of people can't really roll like that.
Okay.
I know a lot of
that's
people
fine. I was just wondering. And secondly, why is it that only
that's what me chain vaping.
Oh, okay. Like just picking up one, starting.
I definitely chain vape.
All right. Now, my second question is, why is it okay? So I grew up with a grandma who always made peach cobbler, but never any peach pie. Peach pie doesn't exist in Black households. It just doesn't. It's just always peach cobbler.
Why would you make a pie when you can make a cobbler?
Right. It's so much more stuff, right? But when it came down to apples, my grandma would be like, "No, I gotta make apple pie." Like she would throw the apples in, and I think she made an apple cobbler once or twice in my life. But every time, so it's kind of like what is it? All rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles, right? So It's that similar analogy when it comes to pies and cobblers with apples and peaches.
I'm gonna tell you, you can make a pretty sweet cobbler. If you could do it like really simply with like all you need is like pie filling.
Okay.
And you take a cake mix and put it over the top. Then you melt some butter and put the butter over the top of it. You can spruce it up however you want to, but that's all you need. And you put that into the oven. Okay. And your mic's not muted.
Yeah, I caught that too late. I caught that too late. My bad.
So you put all of that stuff. You can do it either in a crock pot. Okay. Or you can do it in a crock pot, or you can do it in a pan and put it in the oven. I found the oven to be a better experience.
What up,
So, but yeah, that you can make a pretty decent cobbler just that way. Like pie filling, cake mix, butter, done.
I don't like cake in my pie, and I don't like pie in my cake.
It basically makes the cake. But if you just take cake mix and you just put butter on it, it is not a cake consistency because it's just cake mix and butter.
Right. No, I hear you. It doesn't have the egg and everything binding it together.
All right, hold on, wait. I pulled up Mount Baker, and their 240s are 36, and I think they're going to be 39. They're gonna go up to 39 at some point.
Okay. Now Heathen said that there's a buffet called Grandsons here that has some home cooking in it. He said he had some peach cobbler and put ice cream sandwiches in it. He said it was lit. He said he said y'all need to go to that place soon. So
man, he's trying to get me to come there so bad, and I'm like, man, I ain't trying to drive 2.5 hours in North Carolina. I mean, I like you and all, but I don't know if I'm.
He's so bogus. He was like, you know what? Nah, son, I'm good.
I mean, we cool. Nah, we cool. No, I'm trying to figure that part out because, like I said, at my job right now, I have not been there long enough to earn vacation time.
All right.
Right. And so at some point he's going to be moving out of that area, and so he wanted to meet up before he moved further away.
He said, but he ain't no AA, huh? He said he ain't no AA, huh?
No. I meant AA because I went to Alabama with my girlfriend whose child lives in Alabama, And then I took it upon myself to set that up twice.
Right.
Like I took it upon myself to set that up twice. Just as because I was tagging along type deal. Right. So now, that was a little bit different.
All right. So I got two things I want to get into.
Okay.
I think I'll move this next one toward the end. So y'all, I know y'all saw the agenda. We'll be talking about Rogue One here a little later because I know it's gonna take up some time. Man, let's talk about.
It ain't gonna take that much time from my perspective.
Oh, okay. Well, then it may not take that much time. Okay, so look, I rented Rogue One last weekend, and me and the entire family, we sit down and we watched Rogue One. Well, my wife watched Rogue One for about 20 minutes till she got bored. And then, but that has nothing to say against Rogue One. That's just how she does all movies.
Mm-hmm.
But
and because she's a girl,
no spoilers though.
And girls don't like Star Wars.
No, that ain't even true.
That's why I put on that voice to do
that. right. Now here it is, Will. I won't give any spoilers. So I won't give any spoilers, but I will talk about the movie. So this movie tonally is different from what you got from The Force Awakens. So
yes.
That is
I mean, because of the last two movies, that is the comparison point. That's the comparison point for a lot of people. Like, do these two movies add up? Do they face up against each other? Because we already know how we feel about the original movies. We already know how most people feel about the prequels. I still say 3 is the best one out of all of the movies so far. And agree with you. And so people already have their feelings compartmentalized by those 6 movies. So now we got these ones, and even though this one goes in between the 6, it still came out at a time where the only direct comparison is The Force Awakens.
Right. Just given the release date timeline of the actual movie, not the timeline within the canon. And so it has a different tone. So it kind of reminds me of what was it? What was the set? Let's see, what was it? New Hope, Return.
It's so, bruh. They pretty much ape A New Hope. This whole movie, the whole movie, it's A New Hope redux. Like that is really like seriously. This movie has so many like A New Hope beats in it.
Okay.
That it's hard not to watch this and go, wait a minute.
Hold up. Right, like the beats are so strong, but then so much happens where they use computer generated graphics in a way that I wasn't expecting them to use it, and I think it's done fairly well. And I think so. And what I'm looking forward to though is them actually expanding, right? So I'm looking forward to the next one, right? So I'm looking forward to them, and the next one should be coming out. When is that? Christmas? So it should be coming out around the holidays. So I'm looking forward to it. I just think I don't know.
It's the last air. I mean, the last samurai. I mean, the last Jedi.
The last. So yeah, it is supposed to be the last Jedi, right? So yep. I am really like, I'm not much of a Star Wars fan. I'm not as big as Vlad's Hammer or as Jason or as anybody on OFR, but I will say this. I will say that I quite enjoy the movie. I love the way that they still keep all the cinematic touches, like the pans that go to black, like from one side of the screen to the next, and just the way they cut off at certain points in a humor line and things like that. I really like that. That stuff is really, really cool, man. I really like it. Chase, and by the way, you can get into Xbox Live parties from your PC.
His PC got stolen with his Xbox.
Oh, shoot. Dang it. I knew the Xbox got taken. I was not sure the PC got taken. Man, that sucks, bro. That really sucks.
And you can't do it from the app. So
no, you cannot.
I will say before we go further, we did talk about this, me and Chase, because Chase is now a co-host on Scarcasm Live.
Right. Ah, cool out. That's your one.
But
That's your one.
we did talk about Star Wars from the perspective of you, and I talked about the fact that we talked about like nerddom and geekdom and stuff like that. But one thing that I also talked about is like I never got into Star Wars until I was an adult. Because there was a lot of geekdom stuff that I could have been a part of, but my dad wasn't gonna pay for none of that shit. So like once I became an adult and I had a job and I had my own money, then I was able to go out and experience what a lot of geeks and nerds and nerd culture had experienced, and it changed a lot of things for me. Like there's some movies that geek and nerd culture love that I don't necessarily like because I wasn't a part of it at the time when it was hot. So I watched like The Crow. I do not like The Crow. I do not like that movie at all. I'm just like, this is stupid. But that was because I watched The Crow like a few years ago. I watched The Crow for the show. Like I watched it like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
All right.
So I never saw it in the 90s when everybody else saw it. I saw it after the fact. So that also extends to Star Wars. Since I did not get into it, like people have these stories about you would love The Crow, wouldn't you, Will? Nonsense. But like I just lost it. I had it and then I spoke to Will and I lost what I was saying.
Oh, you didn't watch it at the time that it was popular?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch none of this stuff, and I wasn't a part of none of this stuff until I was able to have a job and have my own money. And that goes to gaming too. When I was gaming, as a youngster, like it was all about what my parents were able to rent for me, and then it was sports games. Like
right.
Until I was able to buy my own stuff, which happened around the end of the PS2 life cycle. And then it really extended to the Xbox. That's when I started, really expanding my nerd cred, I guess you could say. And
we'll say geek cred. We'll say geek
cred, nerd cred. Someone just said it's all the same. There's no difference.
I disagree. We had that conversation on Geeks for the Win a long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean, it's geek cred, nerd cred. So there's a lot of this stuff that I wasn't a part of, and that extends to Star Wars. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That extends to Star Wars. I got in around the time when I got in. It was in preparation for Episode 1.
Oh, okay. So you're like, I need to get caught up so I can understand what's going down. Okay.
Right. So I watched the movies because Episode 1 was going to be such a big deal that I wanted to make sure that I saw the movies, which also made it so like by the time I watched it, those movies were old. And for a young man that I was at the time, they were ancient. And like the prequels, it was like, this looks amazing, and there's pod racing and all of this stuff. Like I never thought about it wasn't until I started listening to podcasts that I realized just how bad some of the dialogue was and all of this other stuff that people really get after George Lucas about. Mm-hmm. None of that stuff was apparent to me at the time. Like it's just like these were just enjoyable movies. They weren't really something that I felt like I was going to be invested in for the rest of my life.
Right. And I mean, I can understand that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I didn't get into when it was hot. And I mean, I've still never seen The Crow. If I sat down and watch it now, would I enjoy it? I think I saw like 20 minutes of it. I know it was Brandon Lee's last movie. Rest in peace.
You really have to put yourself in a 90s state of mind. Like you really have to put yourself in a 90s state of mind.
I might enjoy that. I mean, we'll see.
That movie is so 90s. Is like it's so 90s. Like, oh, another one, Blade Runner. I hated every moment of Blade Runner.
Man, I watched it too, and my boy C had to watch it for college. He actually had a class when we were going to undergrad, and he actually had to watch it for class, and he was like, Jay, I hate this movie. He's like, but I had to break it down. He had to break it down. But no, he didn't. He was not a big fan of it. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so I did not like Blade Runner. I mean, The Crow, watching the movie was enjoyable, but my feeling after watching The Crow was, why do so many people love this movie? Blade Runner, it was like, why would anybody watch this?
Right. I looked at it. I was like, man, come on, man. Like it was so bad. I watched the whole thing. And I was not impressed. And I understand that it was a product of its time and it was innovating in things that hadn't been done before. And I still lack the appreciation for it. So maybe it's just me and my inability to be artful and appreciate artistic expression. However, I don't think that's.
I think I would probably get. I know it's based off of a book. I think I'd probably get more out of the book or the short story than I did that movie. You know what, Keith? We talked about rapid fire on the last Scarcasm Live because I was talking about going to see the Buffy the Vampire movie the first time. The first time I saw Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we went to the cheap movies because, of course, like I said, my dad won't pay for that shit. So we went to the dollar movies, and we went to see Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They went to see Rapid Fire. And that's what that whole thing came up at. But
wow,
yeah,
wow,
I remember that. And I remember that, and it just so happens that I remember that's what happened at the time. But yeah, man, they are killing us in the chat right now.
Killing us? No, they. Yes. I mean, they killing you. No.
They were killing me at first, and then we started talking about Blade Runner, and they're letting us have it, bro.
No, he said
the Buffy movie wasn't good because Joss Whedon wasn't a part of the actual making of the movie, and I think it was Warner Brothers. They kind of had their way with the script, and they changed a bunch of stuff. And in order to redeem himself, because Joss Whedon wrote it. In order to redeem himself, he decided to do the TV series, and that's the reason why a lot of the people were hesitant to watch the TV series, because it's like, you're doing a TV series on a failed movie, and he was like, yes. Yeah, it's the movie is bad, but there was going to be some elements of the movie in the TV show, especially with the Whistler character, and the guy who was the guy who was a part of the guy who was a part of finding and training her.
It's me, dog. Like I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't never seen Buffy. It's me, dog.
No, I will tell you this. Buffy the movie has one of the funniest scenes that Pee Wee Herman has done as not as Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
Because he's a vampire in the movie. And his death scene is just hilarious. It probably isn't hilarious now that I'm an adult, but at the time, that was the funniest shit ever. Like I mean,
you got so many people in the chat room just like, nah, son. See, there go Mario. He said,
I'm not telling anybody to watch that movie. I will say, I think the TV show should get. I think everyone should watch the TV series at least once in their lifetime.
I would say no.
I think it's a landmark achievement in storytelling And like he just said, it gets better with every season. It just keeps getting better. Like it never takes a step backwards. It just keeps getting better.
But let me tell you, that beginning though, it starts at a really low point.
The very first season, like I said, the problem with Buffy is it was a mid-season replacement to something that had, the first season was a mid-season spring replacement, so it didn't really get the love that it needed for that first season. It's very Monster of the Week, but I say no matter what you do, get past the first season. I know it's kind of a slog, but it sets up so many things. It sets up so many things in the first season, but you have to just get through it. It's kind of like the first season of Mad Men. Like a lot of people who watch Mad Men, now I found Mad Men to be boring as hell. Mad Men to be boring as hell. But once you get past the first season and they lay the groundwork for the rest of it, it's actually quite enjoyable, even though I stopped after the second season.
I think I watched through season 3 or maybe 3.5. Like almost all of 4. But here's the thing, like with Mad Men, I looked at that from a different perspective. It was about marketing, it's about a marketing, an ad agency, I'm a marketing major. So I looked at it from a different viewpoint. But man, you got so many people going in right now. Like Derek has never watched Buffy. Keith agrees that, it does get better every season. But Will says it didn't do well. But here's the thing. I'm done talking about Buffy because I'm never gonna watch it. We sit up here and we talked about Blade Runner. No, I've tried. We talked about Blade Runner, and Buffy is more of a product of its time than Blade Runner is to me. And I think that it's not for your boy. I've tried it. I tried it recently. I tried it within the past year.
Do you like the Avengers movies?
I do. I like Joss Whedon. You know that.
Then you figure out that all of the shit for the Avengers movies came from what he started on Buffy. I
understand that, Mike.
How to deal. I mean, there was no one more qualified in how to deal with all of these personalities, make it fit, building your ups and your downs, throwing quips in the middle, and they still work. All of that stuff was worked out on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You're never going to watch it, but if you are watching or if you are listening right now, you should go through it at least once. The same way that I think everyone should watch Lost from beginning to end.
Hell no. No. You spouted enough garbage today. No, do not waste your time with Lost. It is asinine. It's ridiculous.
The last season,
it happened in the middle of the writer's strike, and then they lost all focus.
The last season. No. If we're gonna blame the writer's strike for something, we're gonna blame the writer's strike for Heroes. That's what we're gonna blame the writer's strike on. We're not gonna blame the writer's strike for Lost.
Nope. Look, dog. We that is what happened in the middle of Lost. That's why it got so convoluted, is because it was during the Writers Guild strike. So do not waste your time.
That's what the writer's strike. The writer's strike is what happened is definitely what happened to Heroes, and it almost torpedoed Friday Night Lights, which is another fantastic TV show.
Now that I can agree with. Friday Night Lights is very, very good. However, I ain't watching no Buffy. So now moving on, I want to get this in while we still got some time. Now, so Mike, I just got my new graphics card and I'm trying to upgrade to AMD stuff, and it won't let me upgrade my A&D Relives or Crimson software, which is pretty much just what you need to like run your gameplay and optimize for each game or whatever, so you can record your gameplay, stream from all of that. So I'm using the older version, but the newer version recognizes my card and allows me to do more things.
Yes, but I can't. The first season was actually greatness. I actually own it on HD DVD.
Yeah. See, he has.
I'm out. I have 2 Xbox HD DVD drives.
Problematic. Okay,
unfortunately.
Right. So, what has happened is Microsoft.
I'm completely out on this video card stuff. But go ahead, do you think?
Right. No, this is just a Microsoft Windows issue. So here's the thing: I can't update my software because it requires a Microsoft Windows update. and I can't update Microsoft Windows because Microsoft actually publishes articles and said, hey, do not download the new Windows 10 Creators Update. Don't do it manually. Wait until they fix it and they push it to you for an automatic upgrade, because older machines might not be compatible with it, and you run the risk of creating big issues. Because what it does, it gets your PC ready, because they're going to change the way they do updates in the future. So it sets that groundwork. But if you download it now manually, it will mess up that groundwork. So that infrastructure that it lays in order to make updates faster, it'll really jack you up. So now I'm sitting here waiting on my AMD software because I'm waiting on Windows to upgrade properly, and I don't know when that's going to be. And so, yeah, it's just, you love Charmed. Look here, man. Never mind.
Charmed was great. No. I think Charmed is more of a, it was great at the time. I'm not sure how much I would love Charmed now. They're supposedly working on a new series of Charmed and updating it. But at the time, I really loved Charmed. I own it. I own all of the seasons on DVD. I don't think I ever finished the last one. But yeah, and there's some people on Charmed that played like in like one episode here and there that you'd be like, hey, I know that dude. You know?
Right. No, I agree with Mark. He said Charmed had eye candy. That's all. So that's what I concur with. I really like Charmed. I did at the time. Like I said, it's one of those at the time things. I'm not sure how much I would like it now. And you know what? If I'm gonna be the villain, let me go ahead and be the villain. Okay, here goes. Now I'm about to say something that a lot of people are gonna go, what? But this is true. This is my truth. Okay. I didn't like The Wire very much either. I can understand that. The Wire was, man.
In fact, I still think The Shield is a much better TV show than The Wire.
Never seen The Shield.
The Shield is great, but you can only get it on, before, I don't know if it's still there, but you can only get it on Amazon.
It was there. I started it. I think I watched maybe 2 episodes and I was like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. But
yeah, and the Shield is much better than Sons of Anarchy also. I know people love Sons of Anarchy, but when you realize that the main character of the show is the villain, it kind of loses everything. Kind of like what it did for me with Orange is the New Black. When you realize that Piper is the villain of the show, it kind of loses everything. I stopped after the 2nd season. I'm just like, I'm done with this shit.
I did too. I never went back.
Yeah, I never went back. I thought that something would spur me to care about Orange is the New Black, because it's one of those. No, there's no real spoilers. It's just, you learn that while watching. Like, yes. Wait a minute, it's something that you think about. Like, wait a minute, like you're looking at this show, and it's one of those shows, kind of like Dollhouse. It's a show like Dollhouse where the show succeeds despite of the main character.
Okay. I can understand that.
Especially Dollhouse, because everybody in Dollhouse can act circles around the main character.
Absolutely. I concur. I like Dollhouse as well, man. That was really good. So all right.
Yo, the episode where Victor had to be what's his face?
Who?
The guy, I can't think of his name. The guy who does the imprints.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There was an episode
in that room with the chair, right?
Yeah, there was an episode where they imprinted Victor with his, and the guy playing Victor was so convincing as him. It's like, damn, you can do this better than him. Also, that guy from Dollhouse that I can't think of his name was great in Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, it's good to know.
Have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
Nope.
Bruh, do that shit. Like, no, I'm saying you should watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm saying you have to watch Cabin in the Woods. You have to. And I know it's not your favorite game, but there is a Left 4 Dead Enemy Monsters cameo in there if you know where to look.
I'm out. No, I'm just playing.
No, they don't actually. You don't actually see them except for this one part. You're look. If you know where to look, you can see all of the special infected.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, man.
But Cabin in the Woods is a must. Like, no, I'm serious. By the time this next episode comes out, by next Monday, I need you to have seen Cabin in the Woods.
I like how you dictate my time to me.
I need you to. I
like how you just saying, "Look,
I didn't say that's what you were gonna do. I said I need you to do that." Completely different thing, right?
I suppose. I mean, technically, but I mean, I consider I'm just not much of a. That's not my style of my genre of movie. My preferential genre.
Cabin in the Woods is a movie that we can't actually tell you what it's about because it's the premise of the movie is a spoiler.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. All right, then I'll check it out. I'll find some place to watch it. I mean, I still got Cody. So
it's on, no, I thought it was. Is it still on Netflix? It was on Netflix.
I don't know. But Mike, let me tell you one thing I am excited to get into, man, and this is the real deal for me.
Also, I think Joss Whedon had a hand in Cabin in the Woods, and the guy who wrote Cabin in the Woods, he was a writer. He was a writer for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The guy who wrote Cabin in the Woods, he was a writer for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
See, now you're making me not want to watch it. Like, no, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, Cabin in the Woods is. It's an experience. It's not just a movie. It's an experience. You're like, wow, I never expected any of this.
Okay. Well, here's an experience I'm looking forward to, Mike. It's coming up this year. And I don't know if y'all watched it, but since we started on games, like I gotta finish on a game, man. Look, Injustice 2, I don't know if you saw the trailer.
Bruh, it's just
the Dark Side trailer.
I don't even like fighting games, bruh. But I did see the Dark Side trailer.
Let me tell y'all, this Dark Side trailer is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know what to say. I really do not know what to say.
Here's my only gripe. I don't know too much about DC Comics other than the TV shows that I watch. But I'm not a huge fan of the crisscross applesauce I-beams that seem to go everywhere.
Yeah, that's his moveset though. I mean, that's
I mean, that might be something standard with him. It just don't look right.
Dog, it looks crazy.
See? There you go, crisscross applesauce. It just looks too weird. Like, do you know anybody with I-beams that aren't straight?
Dude, that's what makes them so cold because those things they're generally imminent death when they hit people. So you can't escape it. Like if he shoots it at you, he's gonna hit you. And so that's the whole point. But yeah, and he's fighting with his hands behind his back. Like,
wait. Will said that he asked if anyone was interested, and everyone was like, nope, until that trailer. That is false, sir. Yeah, I have said I don't like fighting games, but that one looks damn cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And I want everyone to just take a look at it and appreciate because that was his super beast mode, son. Like, yeah. That's so great.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. The game as a whole looks dope. I'm a fan of dress up. So like being able to unlock armor pieces and stuff that you can mix and match and all that other stuff, all that shit looks cool. Like it looks really good. My only problem is the same problem that I have with all fighting games is, am I going to need to have a strong investment into that game because I got other shit to do with my life?
Right. Well, here's the thing. If you want to do the game nights and just play with us in there, no. Now, if you want to be a beast online, then yeah, because I mean, the first Injustice made it to Evo pretty quick after its release. So, but no,
I have the first Injustice. Injustice. And what happened with me was I started playing story mode. And it's actually really good. He said Superhero Mortal Kombat Pass. It's actually pretty dope game.
No, it's really good.
I got the first one through PSN. So I started playing the story mode, and it starts you off as Batman. And so I'm getting in there, and I'm learning how to work as Batman. And right when I decided, okay, I think I have a pretty decent grasp of Batman, they switched characters without teaching me how to use this character. They switched it to like Green Lantern or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'm getting my ass whooped because I don't know how to use Green Lantern. Because of this, I know how to use Batman, but now you're telling me, okay, we're gonna switch you off Batman and put you on something else. And I'm like, man, forget this. I turned it off and I ain't never been back.
Right. Now, here's the thing. It's perfect pacing because the minute you felt like you had Batman, the game felt like, okay, it's time to move on. Let's move on to a different character. And so, but
I'm gonna need you to teach me how to use the character first instead of just switching the character up on me.
Well, all you got to do is hit start. Like the basics don't change, right? Like how you knock people out of the stage and get like the extra stage damage when you transition in stages and stuff. Like that stuff doesn't change. Like those inputs, the X-ray transitions, they don't change. But everyone's individual skill moves, they change. So I love the game.
One thing I loved, one thing I liked about Injustice is it doesn't have, or at least when I was playing, didn't have a whole bunch of long drawn out combos. I think long drawn out combos have been the bane of fighting games since the first Killer Instinct. After the first Killer Instinct, everybody wanted to do these, these long like 20 hit combos and shit like that. And I'm just like, and even though some of them added like the combo breakers or whatever you call it in Street Fighter, that doesn't appeal to me. I like Street Fighter before I could put you in these long drawn out combos. I hit you a couple of times, maybe get a 5 or 6 hit combo. You fall to the ground. We start over. Like, and like that's what I liked about the early Street Fighter games. And I just don't dig that about fighting games. And also, fighting games kind of get boring after a while.
Right. And Chaser, right, Mortal Kombat did the same thing. But Mark's also said that Tekken 7 is the only fighting game he'll check out this year. And I'm a huge Tekken fan. And that looks really, really good because it has Akuma in there as well.
You a Tekken fan, but you apply all that cheese that was in that mac and cheese that you were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, he hating because, and I actually have video of it on my Twitch channel. But I was out there putting in work on Scar, on Ace, on everybody when we did it in the game out on Tekken Tag Tournament, just because I still remember a lot of the players 10-hit combos, so I was putting in work.
See, 10-hit combos, the bane of my fighting game existence. You kept spamming the same moves over and over again.
Well, because here's the thing, you kept doing the same thing. So I'm like, well, I know this what's gonna get you, so I'm gonna get you. Like all is fair in love and war, and fighting games are war. So there it is. So everybody, I think that's all I had. Look, everybody, thank you so much for dropping in. We madly, very, very much appreciate it. Oh, also, let me get to the poll real quick. Let me see if I had any responses to the poll because I forgot to get into it. That was my bad. But let's see where we're at. Let's go to my profile here. Okay, so, all right. So I did a poll last week after we talking about Scar leaving the restroom, wiping his hands on his dang pants. It's just nasty. It's just uncouth. When washing your hands, assume after leaving the restroom, what do you dry your hands with? 67% of people said paper towels. 33% of people said air dryer. So, Mike, I guess you got me on that one.
So 33% of the people are wrong.
33% of the people said that it was okay. Now, Facetious actually responded, and I had his comment on here, and I thought I started, but he mentioned something along the lines of air dryers are the bane of existence, and they should be removed from everyone's bathrooms.
Agreed.
And he says that the new jet ones, I guess, get everybody all jacked up. So, Slasher said he voted for paper towel.
It's just not what's hot on these streets.
And here's the thing, if you don't have to open the door, because sometimes
AZ Rockslide said, I will wipe my hands on just about anything as opposed to using hand dryers. I hate them.
Right. Yeah. AZ was like, nah, son. He was not feeling any parts of that, which, and I don't know. I don't know. He said team paper towel. You know, he all about that team paper towel life. I don't know. I don't know. Like for me, if assuming it's a push door in the bathroom, in the restroom, then I like the dryer because I could just push it up with my elbow or something. I don't have to touch it with my hand. Just move on.
No, I'm just gonna put my sleeve up. Because people don't wash their hands. So even if you use the air dryer, like other people don't wash their hands. So like,
right? No, you're right. You're right. Actually, when I was doing research, there was a guy who did research on. I watched his presentation. He went before me, and he found that 35% of men don't wash their hands when they leave the restroom.
Yeah. Which have you heard the story about Don King?
I don't know. No.
Don King was in the bathroom with somebody, and he went to the bathroom. And we can leave on this note. He went to the bathroom, and someone came in the bathroom after him, and he left. And the guy was like, "You ain't gonna wash your hands?" And Don King says, "I wash my hands before I touch my dick."
Wow. Wow. Good old Don King. Something else, man. All right, Mike, give you shout outs, dog. Give you shout outs.
Man, just shout out to everybody else in the chat. Everybody, if you haven't, you should watch Cabin in the Woods. It's a good time had by all. A shout out to the homie Chase. Chase, because of his things that were taken, it really all he has is his PS4 now, so he wants to try to get some PS4 game nights in. I actually bought the gold edition of The Division as a game that I know that I will play. You know,
right?
So we're gonna try to set that up sometime soon, and we're gonna try to get it in. And Chase has all of these ideas, and he wants to expand our reach in our community involvements as far as Scarcasm goes. So we're gonna see how far that actually goes. But shout out to the homie Chase who's in the chat.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Yeah. Hey, seriously, man. Shout outs to everyone who dropped into the chat.
Shout out to everybody.
Simpson, Simpson, Keith, Heathen, Will, Slasher, Mark, and then
join the PS4 community. Scarcasm community.
Yeah, I just joined it. I just joined it. He said hit him up on the. He said Guru said hit him up. The division is a thing. So yeah. And then shout outs to Timo, man. He's still recovering from a stroke, man. But everything seems to be going fine. He said I listened to last week's show, and he said he should have been out of the hospital by Friday of last week, and so he's gonna be back for OFR. Which shout outs to OFR because they record episode 350 tomorrow evening. So shout outs to them. Shout outs to Timo. Everything is looking great, man. Yeah, you're welcome, Mark, man. Thanks for dropping in. And again, shout outs to Sean and Brian for the feedback. Look, really appreciate that. And shout outs to my boy Kevin, aka Shownuff71. He dropped it to the game night. It was me and Ace out there. We actually hooked up on the Discord server because Xbox Live was messing up. But we got out there and we talked about some things, man. We had a really good time. And
man, I was at my girl house and all my stuff is here, so I couldn't join. At least I couldn't even join the chat because all my stuff was here.
Right. Even your alpha was there, right? Even your alpha was
yeah. My alpha was here at home.
Right. So, but no. Hey, thanks everybody. Look, we really appreciate it. Look, we're just trying to build this thing slowly but surely. Having a good time, having some fun. So just try to check back in with us again next week, and we'll try to keep this thing rolling. I don't know. There really isn't a poll. I think maybe I'll do up something like which one is more of a product of its time, Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Blade Runner, and then we'll let y'all answer. We'll let y'all answer it.
Which is the worst movie, Blade Runner or The Crow?
Really? How you gonna throw that? Oh, really?
Which is the worst movie?
Come on, man. Blade Runner actually won like nominations and awards and stuff. Okay, never mind. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this. We'll be back in your ear again next week. Peace out to the Wars.
Peace out to the Wars.